What's up, nail geeks, and welcome back to this month's little box of horrors video. I do apologize about the absence of my face. I hope you will forgive me. I completely dropped the ball on recording my face, so you're going to get some fun website content for the intro and the recap sale info at the end of the video. Hope you will forgive me, as today is the launch date for the sale, and I wanted to get this video out ASAP in case you are waffling on anything. So I think you'll forgive me for that. Maybe. We're going to keep the intro short and sweet, so without further ado, let's dive right in. First up, we've got Chamaeleon's set. We have 4 from her this month, and the first one is Fierce Eyes, described as a black jelly base with blue shimmer, yellow to orange shifting flakes, and small orange hollow glitters. This one's inspired by an eerie online picture of a werewolf with glowing eyes. Price is $13.50, and there is a cap of 60 bottles. Fierce Eyes has a very heavy jelly-like formula to it. It is forgiving in terms of it having super chonky flakes and glitters, and they lay down flat. However, overall, the general feeling is it's just very heavy. If that bugs you, maybe some thinner. I personally didn't find any issues with that, but I don't mind it thick. Take that what you will. I did use a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat though, as this does dry down very thirsty and a touch textured because of the glitters. And Graveyard Lurker is also inspired by a picture online of a werewolf in a graveyard and is described as a neon green Crelly base with black hex glitters and black flakes that also glow green in the dark. This one's $13.50 with a cap of 40 bottles. This has a more cream-like formula to me. It is incredibly smooth on the nail, and that's impressive given that it's a glow-in-the-dark polish. Typically, those are thicker and just more viscous in how they apply, but this is very smooth. I'm going to suggest 3 coats, a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat. Just as a PSA, I do kickstart glow-in-the-dark polishes with my nail lamp, a gel lamp. It's just a UV LED lamp, and it gets the glow-in-the-darks to kind of amp up. You can also charge it under any sort of lamp. And Shadow Wolf is described as a black when cold to turquoise when warm thermal, filled with black flakes and a variety of iridescent flakes. This one's inspired by the movie cover for Werewolves Within. Price is $13.50, and there is a cap of 50 bottles. So we have another juicy jelly-like formula going on here. I'm going to suggest 3 coats to build up. I had excellent coverage on that second coat. If you have shorties or you're rocking those nubbins, I think 2 coats would be fine. But if you have any sort of free edge, you'll definitely want to go up to that 3rd coat. I love the combination for the 2 thermals this month from Chamaeleon. This one and then the next one. Stunning, very obvious hot and cold transitions. And the little iridescent flakes of this add a wonderful rainbow-like component. Finish with a good glossy top coat to give it that plump, ultra jello-like appearance, and you're good to go. And last one from Chamaeleon is Swords versus Claws. This is a rusty red when cold to grayish purple when warm thermal, filled with small black flakes and glowing iridescent flakes. This one is inspired by battles between werewolves and humans. Price is $13.50, and there is a cap of 40 bottles. This is another really interesting, very unique to me thermal polish. I love this one's color combination. It's stunning. It's also got that ultra smooth jelly-like formula that Shadow Wolf had, and it's very, very reactive. So no issues with either of them. They both they were ready for takeoff in hot and cold states. The flakes on this one pop in a really nice warm sort of inner glow type way. I didn't have too much texture and thirstiness from the flakes on this one as they are on the smaller side, but I would still suggest a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat to plump it up. And Hearts and Promises brings us Teen Wolf. This is described as a deep blue scattered hollow base with gold shimmer and flakes. This one's inspired by the 1985 movie Teen Wolf. Price is $13, and there is a cap of 200 bottles. So Teen Wolf has a jelly-like formula to it, and for full opacity, full coverage, I'm going to suggest 3 coats. The formula does have a bit of a squishy factor to it, so I'm going to caution going too ham and too brushstroke happy. Just let it slowly build up. This is what I would consider more of a softer sort of finish as opposed to more opaque cream-like feel that we see from a lot of, say, linear hollows and all that good stuff. No issues with texture or flatness or anything, so I think any glossy top coat is perfect. And Jenna Berries brings us Werewolf in Love. This is a blackened burgundy base with a mix of metallic red and silver flakes with an added holographic flake sparkle. This one's inspired by Oz from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Price is $13 and there's a cap of 200 bottles. So we have a true jelly formula going on here too. I really appreciated the mix of flakes in this one. Now, flaky bombs aren't my super ultra favorite, but when they look like this, I'm here for it. This has a very reflective appearance from the silver flakes amongst the metallic sort of red look too. I'm going to suggest 3 coats, a glitter smoothing top coat and a glossy top coat to smooth this one out and get it nice and plump and really just amp up that silver reflective look from those flakes. Really pretty, just a lovely vampy finish. And Lemming Lacquer brings us Wolf to Queen. This is a rich brown jelly base with gold magnetic effect, orange to gold to green iridescent flakes, and hollow gold micro sparks. This one's inspired by Haley Marshall from The Vampire Diaries and the originals. Price is $13.50 and there's a cap of 150 bottles. So Wolf to Queen has a very heavy formula to it. It's quite viscous and just thick overall. I did not have an issue with that. Again, I personally don't have any issues with thick. I think 2 coats was perfect. With magnetics, you want as much polish on your nails as possible without it being too clunky. So that formula, in my opinion, was great. It looks more like a mustard, sort of almost chrome-like effect when it is unmagnetized. But of course, using the magnet will make it look like a tiger's eye. Lots of movement. I kind of give you a little extra wiggle action going on there. Really, truly beautiful. I mean, it looked like the tiger's eye stone to me. You will want to finish with a thicker glossy top coat because it is so heavy and dense. It'll give you a really harsh, flat dry down. So gloss it up and you're good to go. And Night Owl brings us Were You Even in a Punk Band? This is described as a dark teal base filled with a magenta, orange, gold, green shimmer, and silver reflective glitter pigment. This one's inspired by the movie Werewolves Within. Price is $12 and there is no cap. Another jelly formula, and I am not mad at it. This is stunning. I'm always going to be biased for blues or teals, if you will, and when they have some type of super strong shimmer, it's just my favorite. And then you add in reflective glitter and I'm sold. The reflective glitter is going to give you some thirstiness. It's going to give you some texture. So you'll want to finish with a glitter smoother and a glossy top coat to seal this one up. I think 3 coats is going to pop the best and give you the most payoff. The shimmer has a lovely, very obvious Aurora shimmer from that coppery red over to gold and green. In terms of the base color representation, I think my video is giving you a little bit better idea than my swatches. Those are pulling just a touch green in my opinion. And Paradox Polish brings us Wolfwalkers. This is described as a topper featuring shifty orange, gold, green glitter in a variety of sizes, gold flakes, and it glows green in the dark. This one's inspired by the movie Namesake. Price is $13.50 and there is no cap. So because on the Will It Topper segment, I was going to show you all this over a black swatch stick, I chose a most random cream color just to really just contrast with that black. So I chose pink and I thought it looked really cool. This is more of an iridescent sort of topper. So it's going to give you that almost mylar-like appearance. Make sure to give your bottle a good shake. And again, I did charge it with my UV LED nail lamp to get that glow in the dark going. And then Paradox is also bringing us Lycan in a silver coffee cup. This is described as a special blend of 2 magnetic pigments to create a taupe gray coffee-ish base with gold, black, and silver flakes. This one's $13.50 with no cap. So by itself, unmagnetized, easy buildup at 2 coats. This one also had a heavier formula. Again, no issues there. Very easy to bring up to opacity and just plump out. It looks like a very neutral looking appearance. And then you'll get that nice silvery sort of wisp when you magnetize it. The formula is very reactive to the Magic Magnetic Top Coat. So if you use magnetics the way I do, you'll have no issues with this one or the Lemming. You'll want to finish with a thicker glossy top coat though, because this one also has a bit of thirstiness and texture from the smaller types of flakes there. Lots of movement too, and just really obvious between the base and the magnetic pigment. And we've got some duos between Wicked Polish, which is the house brand for Little Box of Horrors, and Paradox Polish. So the first one is from Paradox Polish. This one is a yellow cream. And then we also have the crackle to go along with it. So Just for the sake of being ultra thorough, I wanted to show you all what the cream looks like swatched on its own. This is what I would consider a primary yellow. There is not really a whole lot of undertones going here. It's just straight school bus yellow. Very popping, very flattering, easy formula. It's self-leveling and very creamy. I think 2 coats is wonderful if you wear it by itself. And then the Wicked Crackle for this month is a cherry red shimmer with a subtle hollow effect. Please note, you can buy these separate if you wanted the cream or the crackle by itself. The crackle is 15 and the cream is 13. If you get the duo, it's 28. Now for the duo, there is a cap of 125. This month's crackle for both of them they both have a really thick formula to them. And I'm gonna suggest going in light-handed to make sure that it crackles. I think it was just a touch dense in how it applied. It crackled no problem for me, but I just felt that going in too thick, it didn't crackle as well. And I think that's just because the pigments are heavier probably. And the second duo, very identical in price to the previous one, is the Underworld duo. This one comes with a black cream from Paradox, and then from Wicked, it's a multi-chrome crackle. The black cream is a 1-coater polish. It applied very easy, very smooth. If you're wearing it by itself, I would suggest going up to 2 coats, but if you're wearing it as an undie, I think 1 normal coat was just perfect. Now this is the crackle. This was the multi-chrome one I was just talking about. It's described as a blue to purple to pink multi-chrome with a splash of iridescent microflake and hollow. So again, same price, all that good stuff. My warning about the dense formula on the crackle, this is the same thing as the other one for the Teen Wolf duo. Just go in really thin and it will crackle easily. I think if you're wanting those big, chunky, thick crackles, I feel like you just need to go lighter. Both dry down incredibly flat, so I did use a coat of glitter smoother underneath my glossy top coat. And lastly, Zombie Claw brings us Being Tamed. This is described as a thermal that goes from red when cold to yellow when hot with aurora shimmer and white glitters. This one's inspired by Werewolf smut. Price is $13.50 and there's a cap of 50 bottles. So when I first saw this, I thought, I just had to say it. It reminded me of McDonald's. The base is a almost chartreuse leaning yellow, at least to my eyes. The shimmer's kind of catching on it there. And the red is a brickish, very warm type of red. Super reactive on the thermal properties. Formula is very smooth. I think 3 really light coats, as it does have a very strong plumping effect and you want to avoid over buildup. A thicker glossy top coat is perfect to finish this one up. And we're going to wrap this up with a Will It Topper segment. This is where I use a black swatch stick to demonstrate if polishes have versatility. So Chamaeleon's got lots of jellies. Honestly, this whole video, I think we have almost all, other than the undies for the duos at the end, we pretty much have jellies. So for the record, most of them work. I think the exception for the Chamaeleon is Graveyard Lurker. I just like this one by itself. I do love me a good slimy green, and I think you're doing it injustice putting a slimy green over an undie. But the thermals both work very well. I would suggest only using them under lighter undies, maybe a little bit of color 3 with lighter colors, but I don't know. I personally wouldn't topper these. I liked them so much. The color combos between the warm and cold state. But to answer the question, yes, it does topper. Hearts and Promises, jelly action, so it works. I think it looks fantastic over black, but I would stick with black and blue for it. Jen and Berries looks ridiculous over black. It looks fantastic. I really liked this combo, actually. I think you can play up with Werewolf and Love a lot. The Lemming works too. You're going to get less of that tiger's eye appearance and more of this really interesting, almost, it kind of reminded me of like a vampy honeybee sort of appearance. It's like honey, dripping honey for the magnetic effect. Really cool. So you can absolutely topper that one. Night Owl looks like a topper by itself like this over black. So I think lots of mermaid colors, teals, turquoise, blue, purple, and black works. Wolfwalkers, there you go. It is a topper, so it's going to look fantastic over anything. And then we've got Zombie Claw here. It works, but personally, I just don't like the color combo over white. It's that red. I'm not caring for how it looks over the white. Now the shop is currently open by the time I get this video up. I'm hoping I beat it, but I'm just going to be real. It takes my computer a hot minute to compress these. The shop is going to open up today and it's going to run on pre-order until March 30th. I will have all the information in the description box, including the link to the website. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching.